Chapter 3. "She is called the Queen Mary," said Abeline's father, "and you and your mamma and I shall sail on her all the way to London." "What about Pellegrini?" said Abeline. "I will not go," said Pellegrini. "I will stay." Edward, of course, was not listening. He found the talk about the dinner table excruciating dull. In fact, he made a point of not listening, if he could help it. But when Abeline did something unusual, something that forced him to pay attention, as the talk about the ship continued, Abeline reached for Edward and took him from his chair and stood him on her lap. "What about Edward?" she said in her high voice and uncertain. "What about him, darling?" said her mother. "Will Edward be sailing on the Queen Mary with us?" "Well, of course, if you wish, although you are getting a little old for such things as China rabbits." "Nonsense," said Abeline's father doggedly. "Who would protect Abeline if Edward was not there?" From the vantage point of Abeline's lap, Edward could see the whole table spread out before him in a way that he never could when he was seated in his own chair. He looked upon the glittering array of silverware and glasses and plates. He saw the amused and condescending looks of Abeline's parents, and then his eyes met Pellegrini's. She was looking at him in a way a hawk, hanging lazily in the air, might study a mouse on the ground. Perhaps the rabbit fur on Edward's ears and tail and the whiskers on his nose had some dim memory of being hunted, for a shiver went through him. "Yes," said Pellegrini, without taking her eyes off of Edward. "Who would watch over Abeline if the rabbit were not there?" That night, when Abeline asked, as she did every night, if there would be a story, Pellegrini said, "Tonight, lady, there will be a story." Abeline sat up in bed. "I think that Edward needs to sit here with me," she said, "so that he could hear the story too." "I think that is best," said Pellegrini. "Yes, I think that the rabbit must hear the story." Abeline picked Edward up, sat him next to her in bed, and arranged the covers around him. Then she had said to Pellegrini, "Now we are ready." "So," said Pellegrini. She coughed. "And so the story begins with a princess." "A beautiful princess." "A beautiful princess?" Abeline asked. "A very beautiful princess." "Well, how beautiful?" "You must listen," said Pellegrini. "It is all in the story."